Hello and welcome to this webinar powered by ESA. I am Dominique from Confia International, and today we have a few more tips for you on how to prepare a quality application. So let's get started. Every application is assessed by an evaluator who rates it according to predefined criteria. Those criteria are publicly available and can be found in the Erasmus Plus program guide. Bear in mind that the evaluation process is quite lengthy and can take up to 2 months, even for small-scale projects. So keep that in mind when picking the deadline you want to apply for. Let's see now some tips on how to prepare a quality application and what are the key elements that evaluators will look at. Tip number 1. Don't assume, elaborate. An evaluator is a person with a lot of experience in the use field. However, they probably know nothing about your organization or your project. So make sure to answer all the questions, be as clear as possible, and define these acronyms that for you are so obvious. Also, put some extra work on the summary of your project. An evaluator will always start reading this part first, even if this is situated at the very end of the application form. This will give a good or a bad overview of what your project is about, and will set the tone for the rest of the application. A good practice here is to use some external proofreading. Ask a colleague or a friend to have a look at your application. If they don't understand what your project is about, maybe you should revise it. Tip number 2. Be smart. When writing your project content, remember to use SMART objectives. Make sure your answers are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Let's see a concrete example of a SMART objective. Instead of writing, "We will meet and organize a training on social inclusion," you can write, "In July 2019, 30 young people from 6 different countries will meet in the city of Nancy in France to organize a 5-day training event on social inclusion in Erasmus+." Tip number 3. By young people, for young people. Erasmus+ projects, and in particular youth exchanges and structured dialogues, are meant to be organized by youth for youth. If your organization is mostly composed of young people, make sure to stress it. Show that young people are empowered and taking an active part in all the stages of the project. Writing the application, creating the program, organizing the activities, promoting the results, and so on. Tip number 4. Be inclusive. Projects that show effective measures to include young people with fewer opportunities are more likely to be approved for funding. So think ahead and consider how your project could include young people with disabilities, people from remote areas, or people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. This could be achieved by organizing your training in an accessible venue, by including partners from a small village, or by implementing an activity in a refugee camp. After all, Erasmus Plus aims at creating a more inclusive society. So think out of the box and be creative. Tip number 5, start little, then grow. Is this your first Erasmus Plus application? Are you afraid that your organization is too inexperienced to get funding? Guess what? I have great news for you. First-time applicants tend to be more positively evaluated and encouraged to join the Erasmus Plus family. So don't be shy. Put your project ideas on paper and start working on this concept note today. Our advice here is go for a simple project. Youth exchanges or structured dialogues are usually a good way for newcomer organizations to get started with the Erasmus Plus project. We hope these things were useful. If you have any question, write them down and join us for our live Q&A that we will organize at the end of the year. That's all for today. Thank you for joining and see you next time.